Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Alive with Chris Austin. I am super excited to be here with another episode this week. And in a moment, I'm going to bring on my special guest for this evening. Now, before I bring her on, I'm going to take a couple minutes to wait for a couple people to jump on here, come on live, because tonight you're going to be able to interact live with my very special guest. And as we are waiting for those people to come on live and join us, I'm going to take a couple quick moments to share this to a couple pages so that people that I would love to be able to see this have the opportunity to see it on their pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Feel free to share this link on your own personal pages. I love the support. And if you think that it would be valuable to anyone in your life, that would be greatly appreciative. So I want to introduce to you tonight a very special guest. And not only is she a master when it comes to so many different ways in transformation, she is also a very dear friend of mine. And I am so excited to introduce to you all Tori Michaels. Tori Michaels, why don't you come on camera?
Hey,
Tori. Hey.
hi there.
Good evening. So Tori is the founder of the Whole Life Transformational System, right? So
Life transformation system, yeah.
yes, I always mess that up. My apologies. So even though like we talk about it all the time. So why don't you tell everyone when did you first create this and what is the purpose of it?
The abundance course or my business?
Your business.
So my business came about because I'm a recovering woman. I've been sober for 28 years, and when I woke up to my life's purpose, it became very clear that what I get to do is share the many things that I do with other people. And I have gained so much wisdom from so many amazing teachers. I am proud to say that Deepak Chopra is my teacher, Marianne Williamson is my teacher, and Byron Katie is my teacher. And everything I could ever attend, I attended, like Wayne Dyer, like all of that. And the consistent message through all of these things is we have to find a way to learn to love ourselves exactly where we are. And out of that stems everything. Everything else comes through that. So after my years of Debbie Ford was my teacher as well, and that's my background is very much in shadow work. But then I started studying feng shui, and I became really clear that how people have their spaces, have their homes, really reflects a lot about what's going on inside of them. And I'm really being kind when I say a lot because it's absolute, or the state of their car, the state of their whatever. So I implemented that into my coaching company, and along with the fact that I'm an evidential medium, so I use my psychic self and my medium self in my work. And it sounds very, very complex. And the how isn't like the results are people's lives change in a dramatic and powerful ways. And one of the ways I love to help people is to let them see where their scarcity story is stopping them and how to eradicate it and live a life of abundance in every area. So there you go.
Very powerful, right? Very powerful. And, as always, I love to have you on my show because, like I said, you're not only my friend, like, I think you're like a staple to the work of transformation and what you really provide for people. And I'm excited what we're going to talk about tonight because you have created a course,
Yes.
a whole journey, let's really say. It's a course, but it's a 3-part curriculum that you have created to support people on creating abundance in their life. And you've called it the Abundance Journey, right? So why don't you tell us a little, first of all, let's start off with we hear this word a lot, abundance, right? And we're in a new year, new beginnings. People are really motivated and inspired right now. So when we talk about the word abundance, how would you describe that to our people that are watching here live?
Well, it's funny because if you look up the word, it means having more than enough of something, right? It's having plenty, you could say. And I feel like that word has a lot more strength behind it than what I look up when you might look up the definition. Because abundance, and again, every word has the meaning you give it, but the abundance, the idea that there's enough for you and there's enough for everyone else is how I would say is a definition for abundance.
Which in our culture alone in the United States of America, we have more than enough.
Yes, we
We
do.
have more than enough love, more than enough food, a more than enough. Like you name it, we have it, but we constantly operate from lack and
Right.
scarcity. And it's
Right.
all over the world. And contextually, it's almost in our bones. I feel that vibrationally it just keeps continuing, and we have the ability to break that cycle upon generation with our thoughts, with our actions, all of that stuff, and it's up to each and every one of us that we actually are able to create abundance because we say so. And,
Right.
and there's more than enough. So for those of you watching tonight, this is what we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to have an amazing opportunity at one point tonight to where we're going to give you a phenomenal Alive with Chris Austin Illuminating Humanity special, right, along with Tori, to enroll into this curriculum. Huge savings that we're going to announce here tonight just for you participating, whether you're watching this live or you're watching it on the rerun. We'll make sure that you get that too to a certain time that'll be available to you. So if at any point throughout this evening, up until about 7:45 tonight, if you have any questions or comments that you would like to send to Tori's way, feel free to go ahead and ask those questions, comments. We always love the hearts and the likes and all that stuff too, because we're just like that. And we love the little hearts when they show up. So send all of your love, and I'll make sure that I get the questions and the comments over to Tori so that we can answer your questions, because why not? It's a free opportunity to get this amazing advice and coaching right now from Tori. So with that being said, the abundance journey, what is it?
Okay. So the work of transformation that we're both involved in, I have noticed that a lot of people still have a scarcity conversation, and they may want abundance, but they feel like it's over there or out of reach. And one of the things that I'm aware of is that you are so powerful. And so you can create anything and everything that you really want in your life. And I can prove it to you right now. Look around your space, your home, your environment, and your life. You created all of that. You did. You created that. That you brought into your being. You're a vibrational match to whatever that is, right? And so you created that. And so when we get clear on that and we quit making ourselves wrong for where we are, right? Like where we are right now, because this happens a lot. People are like, oh, I can't make my rent, or I bounced a check, or whatever it is. And there's this intense shame, and there's this intense story that comes up that speaks into I'm horrible, I'm bad, I'm wrong, and whatever. If I would just, then everything would be right. If I would just win the lottery, then everything would be right, or whatever it is. Like that money's gonna fix me. And I promise you, I work with very, very wealthy people, and that doesn't change their mindset, right? That doesn't make them happy. That doesn't fix anything, right? So one of the things that in the part one, which is Friday night, we really focus on, where did your stories come from? What is it, or where is it that story lives within you? Now, we're not making parents wrong, right? Like we're not doing that. My parents, I'm old enough that my parents actually lived through the Great Depression. So I had that mindset put on me from a very early age. I actually thought that it was that people that were wealthy were going to get horrible things happen to them. So that I needed to stay poor. Like that was really important to me, just like be poor. And I remember my father going, what? Like, where did you get that? Right. So it's really interesting where those stories get ingrained, and then we live from them. And it's usually a 4 or 5-year-old that's making up the story, and we're living from it. Right. So the first night, that's Friday night, we get in there and we find it in a process that I do that is very popular, because it blows up, it eradicates that story. You can't tell the story anymore, right? Once you blow it up, you can't tell it anymore. And then on Saturday, what we will be doing is going way deeper into, now, what can you create if that is gone now, right? What, like the question might be in coaching, what would be available to you if you couldn't live from that story anymore? Like literally, you can't live from that story anymore. So now what's possible? Because so many of us get in a habit of being broke, or not enough time, or not enough money. And it's it's working out for us, right? Like, what do you not have to do if you don't have time? What do you not have to do if you don't have money? Right? Or if he or she would just show up, then my life would be perfect. Right? Like, what do you get to avoid because you don't have that right now? And the truth is you have a massive amount of abundance, like Chris just said, right? Like, we live in the wealthiest country in the world, right? And so do you have to worry about your next meal? Do you have to worry about finding a place to sleep tonight? Do you have to worry about, any of that? That makes you abundant. That makes you really abundant. And when's the last time that you gave gratitude for that? Right? Like, being so incredibly grateful for everything that you have in your life.
Well,
Right?
yeah, and it said that gratitude, is the key to all abundance.
That's right.
Mhm.
Dr. John DeMartini said, what you think about and you think about, you bring about. And I love that. I love that. What you think about and what you think about, you bring about.
Mhm.
Right? And if you keep thinking about it and thinking about it, oh, I can't stand it. I don't have any money. I wish I would get a raise. My boss sucks. That's, you're a vibrational match to that happening.
Yeah,
So
and then like it's the old thing of that, like what we focus on manifests, right? And we bring forth into our space. So why not focus on gratitude and
I
things that
focus on
we're
what you
grateful
want.
for?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And the thing is that our programming can be so thick and rich and chocolatey, right? That it can be really daunting to think about breaking through. So I have some sneaky ways that I help you to see it. And then using the feng shui, which we will be doing a lot on Saturday, which is the second level, we will be doing that a lot. I will show you where in your home you have the blockages that are creating it in all areas of your life.
And
We're
if
going
you like, for people that are watching and they're not sure exactly what feng shui is, how would you describe that to somebody?
Okay, perfect. So feng shui is there's debate between 4,000 and 6,000-year old holistic art and science that was developed in China. And the whole point of it now in the modern world is to live within the energies that are in your home and work with them so they support you rather than deplete you. You know what good feng shui is when you walk into someone's home or an office and you feel like, oh gosh, it just feels good to be here. Their furnishings doesn't matter. This could be the simplest, studio apartment in New York, or it could be the most lavish, Bel Air home. It doesn't matter. It has to do with how it makes you feel, because we all vibrate at a certain level. And when a vibration feels good, it pulls us in. We want to be there. We want to stay there. You've also walked into a home where you've been like, it might be really gorgeous, but it doesn't work. I've been in so many houses like this where you think, my gosh, you have so much money. Like, what are we do? Like, what are we doing?
And
But
there's an energy, right? There's an energy that gets created, and it can actually create like blockages, in the
oh yeah, it absolutely can. It absolutely can. And it does, right? And it does. And let me give you an example. So I want you to think about that room that you don't want anybody to know about, or the closet where you shove everything when company's coming, right? And when you look at it, how does it make you feel? Does it elevate you or does it deplete you? And just because it's behind a door doesn't mean it's gone. Or
right.
just because it's in your storage unit, I know a lot of people are in Florida, just because it's in your storage unit doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. It does.
Mhm.
It absolutely does, because you have a tiny little energetic strand that is attached to everything that you own. And at some point, you don't own it anymore. It owns you. And by the way, you don't own anything anyway.
I was
I,
going to say it almost becomes like a part of you, right? In your subconscious, and then you internalize that, and we don't realize that we're doing that. And I
that's
just want to say thank you for everyone tuning in live. It's great to see everyone: Orit, Matt Lindsay, Kelly Mobley, Betsy Parks, Maureen. Marina saying eradicating the stories. Yes. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Marina saying when I drive through cities, yeah, I still find myself looking for places I would sleep in if I was homeless again.
oh,
So I think she's
wow.
saying
Yeah.
that at one point in
There's
her
such a
life she
field.
was homeless, and
Yeah.
yet when she's still driving through, that's like in her mind of what she's still focusing on. So maybe you could
Well,
speak into that a little bit.
there's some trauma there, right? Like, there's some trauma there. Some people choose to be homeless, right? But if that was a traumatic thing, that's muscle memory. She's going to feel that, right? You're going to definitely feel that when you go through the area. And you would be a fun one for me to work with, because to let that fear go, right? Like that fear go, it's such a big point too. The fear of, yeah, but what if such and such happens, right? Like I'm the only provider. I work with a lot of single people. I'm the only provider, and it's like, okay, I got it. And it doesn't have to be hard,
Right.
right? It's the way that you believe it is, right? Like we talk about, like, there's the image of a pie, right? And if I get a slice, that doesn't mean you don't get a slice, because there's no pie. There's plenty for everyone, right? But when we believe in scarcity, when we make scarcity more true than abundance, this is what starts to happen. And it's not like, oh wow, that's really great, Tori. You've got to shift it at a fundamental level, at the base of where it was created. And I'm living proof, right? Like I can tell you that I've lived in poverty, where it was like, let's see, ramen or toilet paper. I got to pick one, right? Like what?
I've been there.
Right, right, exactly. And that's the thing. And as I said, growing up in such a way, I had a very wealthy uncle, and every bad thing that could ever happen seemed to happen to him, right? And the depression was like, oh, the rich people, they didn't help the poor. I don't know, whatever it was, whatever the stories were. So it was like, note to self, right? Be poor. So in my mind, it was bad to be wealthy. Well, happily, I shifted that story a long time ago and realized that that's no way to live. It's suffering, right? And a lot of people love their suffering. A
Oh
lot.
yeah, it becomes this whole addiction, right? And we get
Yes,
so addicted to our own stories and dramas
yes,
and all of that. So with your course, right, the abundance journey, the part one is called breaking the pattern of scarcity.
right,
Yeah. So we're really going to dive into finding like what those core beliefs are that have us operate out of that, is kind of like what I hear you saying, through amazing process and learning these tools and foundations and all that. I had the privilege of being in your first one, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and I can't wait for other people to step into it and experience it. So then, after they take the part one, what's on to like the part two?
right. So the part two is when we'll be doing a little bit of, well, a lot of looking at your environment and how your environment is creating your beliefs, and it's holding you low, like holding you down in those beliefs. And like you said, like it can be a visual thing in your home. It can be different ways that you've got your house set up with your furnishings, but it can also be how you keep your stuff. Do you honor it? Do you take care of it? Do these things that you spent the money on? Like if something costs $5 and you look at it, it might be like, ugh, I don't need this anymore, and throw it away, right? But you would never throw a $5 bill away, right? So it's how you honor the things that you have. If you store things on the floor, you just take it off and you throw it, or whatever it might be, that can also be indicative of depression. And so when we have depression, we have a lack of movement, and a lack of movement will get us nowhere, right? Like anger is actually a better emotion than depression, because there's movement with depression, right? There's a movement with it. So it's a higher elevation of energy, right? And we can start to notice that, and that actually will shift you out of the depression, right? So there's
I'm kind of smiling because I hate things on the floor.
I know you
Like
do.
I'm one of those I'm one of those people, like, although the one thing I keep, like my trash cans and my furniture, right? Like those are the things that sit on the floor. And then I have this little basket of blankets, right? Those are the closest things like I have to the floor. But I think it's so important what you're saying, like it's the energetic flow of it, and like
Right.
starting to become aware of this, because how many times do we hear people go, oh, I just don't care, I'm a messy person, or it doesn't bother me, like we have all of these things, but you're saying like let's take a deeper look at that.
Let's take a deeper look at that. And like, a lot of people, when they get into their home, their new home or whatever, what is the very last room they work on? Can you guess?
Bedroom.
Yeah, because it's
I
just me.
love getting it right.
Right. But here's the thing, you know what it's coming from? It's just me. Well,
Mm.
you're the beloved, right? So you get to honor and love yourself first and foremost. Like I have moved how many times I have moved in the last couple of years or last few years. And the movers are always amazed because I have the bedroom done before they leave, right? The next I'm going is the kitchen. It's unpacked, it's getting put away. Like because I want to honor myself, right? My husband and myself, so that we have a sacred space to be in, and sleep without boxes, without anything like that, because your sleep is so important. It
Mhm.
nurtures you to get ready for the next day, right? So how can you be right? But that's the thing. Like when you think of yourself as it's just me, like that's a like a microaggression towards yourself,
Mhm.
right? If you heard somebody talking about you and you went, ugh, it's just Chris, who cares? Like that might be really wow, like
Sterling. Yeah.
yes, because you matter, right? But if you don't treat you like you matter, guess what your experiences are going to be on every level,
Right.
right?
100%. And as you're talking about the house, I want to say hey to Jackie. Oh, man, I miss you. Yeah, Nadia's nuts. Marley, hit me up. Let me have you on my show for sure. Let's have it happen. Orit, one of my favorite people too. Orit says, I feel suffocated in my house. I struggle with it being full of stuff. When I get help and I get it cleaned and then I clear somehow, it gets filled with all this crap again. I feel free outside in my backyard and camping outside. That's what Ari is
Yeah.
sharing with us. So what
Okay.
do you have to say to Ari
I
about
do. And
that?
Orit is very special to me because we are name twins, right?
Ah,
Because I'm Tori and she's Orit. Get it? I
ah.
know, right? It's very special to
I
us.
would have never probably have thought of that. Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
So here's the thing. So whenever we have something like that, that's such a great question too. I love it because you can have someone come in and clear out all the stuff and oh, it feels so good, right? Or you do it yourself. That's fantastic. But then it starts to slip back into the old behavior because you haven't dealt with the behavior or the story that created the instinct to put stuff on the floor or feel suffocated, right? And that word suffocated is really interesting because in feng shui we talk a lot about that,
Mhm.
about the airflow and about the movement. Certain areas of your home, certain areas of the map that we call the bagua represent areas of the body, and right, and if the house isn't breathing correctly, you aren't breathing correctly,
Mhm.
right? So it's really, that's a great question. Like what happens when I get it all cleaned up? I know how great it feels, and then I just sabotage myself or whatever. And getting to the bottom of that story is part of what we're going to be doing, because you don't have to live like that.
Yeah, and Ori, I know so many people that have that challenge. That they'll pay somebody, they'll hunker down, they'll have it happen, and then before you know it, it's back. So I can say you're not alone with that. I've spoken
Yeah,
to so
no,
many
not at all.
people that have that challenge, and thank you for sharing that because Tori does an amazing job, in these classes of addressing all that stuff that you're talking about. And Jack Law is saying, wow, that really hit home about the bedroom, like when you were sharing that about the bedroom. And then Orita's saying, it got to a point that I don't feel comfortable inviting people to my beautiful home and
Yeah.
that she loves you.
Oh, I love her too.
Mm.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, like that shame, right? The shame will keep you frozen, right? Like the shame will keep us frozen. It has us believe that, we're not enough, we've screwed up, we've got a problem, like all these kind of things. And the truth is, this is when you call on your people, right? And you say, come over, I'm having a party. Bring trash bags, right? And come and support, because there are reasons you're holding on to stuff, right? Who can relate to holding on to those jeans because one of these days I'm going to get back into them, right? That's
We've
shame.
all done it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's shame,
Yeah.
right? That is shame. That has you believing that you're not okay right now, right? And you can't move from I'm not okay right now. I've had clients say, but I really respond to, I've got to cause the pain, so I make a change. And I always say, how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you as the beloved are not being kind to you, you're shaming yourself. You're not going to get anything done, and you're probably going to start exhibiting other behaviors that are self-abusive, like compulsive drinking or eating or gambling or shopping. Shopping, right? Like that's a good one. I enjoy that one.
And I always like to say too, and this has been my thought process, like I've always been one of those people that I can just get rid of things, right? Like I can like even before the whole Marie Kondo thing, right? Like I was able to go, thank you, it was a blast, I have happy memories. And like because I grew up that way, right? It was actually taught to me that like my parents always said that if you don't use something or wear something in a season, growing up in the Northeast, like we had the seasons, if you didn't wear it or use it, then you get rid of it, right? And give it to somebody else that would
Right.
appreciate it and be able to use it. That was instilled in me. And then it always helped because they'd let me sell it in the garage sale and make money off of my stuff. Right. So it was like, to me, that was like that circle of give and receive and flow and
Right.
abundance. But I always like look at it as that being able to get rid of things, and you tell me like how this works with what you teach, but for me, being able to get rid of things, I used to be that person that said, oh well, what if I go somewhere and it's cold and I need this, or what if I gain some weight, or what if I lose some weight. But now I would say, and particularly in the last 5 years, it's really shifted, that if something doesn't fit me properly anymore, I get rid of it, because to me that's stepping into abundance, because I'll just
Right.
buy something. Like
Exactly.
I'll just buy something when I need it, and I'm not having that scarcity conversation anymore, that I've got to hold on to this,
Mhm.
because like, and I know my old conversation is like, there wasn't enough, you know?
Exactly. And I'm not an advocate for like we do live in an abundant world, right? Like I'm always like, I remember you texting me and going, Amazon's not going to be delivering anymore, and I was like, what? Like, what is how can I live? But
Right.
here's the thing: like, set up like a group of women or group of men or whatever, and have a clothing swap, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great way to reuse the things and get them out, and it's your buddy. Like, I've set those up in different cities where I've been. Like I call it clutter to couture,
Mhm.
right? So it's clutter for you, get it out, and now I've got something new. So it's like couture, it's new for me, right? So that's a great way to do it, and to bless it and let it go, right? Because it's not serving you. Shaming yourself never ever serves you,
Nope.
right?
And
And
Jackie's sitting here going, oh gosh, are you looking in my closet, with one of those emoji faces with the red cheeks like this? That's my emoji impression.
yeah, right.
I think you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did start years ago before I even studied feng shui. I was doing wardrobe consulting. And I love to, my whole thing was I love to make women look and feel beautiful. And that's the thing is this, I would see things in people's closets and I'd be like, dude, this is a size 2 and you're like a size 12. What are you doing?
Or my
Right?
favorite, when people go, well, trends always come back around. I'm like, so great, buy the new one in the store.
The trend comes back, but not that sweater, honey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
then it sounds like we'll really get to the core, right? Like, oh, so what is the second level called? In part 2?
you threw me off. Like, I was thinking about, I have something I
Oh,
was going to add to that, but what is the second level called? Hang on. Oh, that's
but
so
she
funny.
got so excited into feng
Creating the
shui.
pattern of abundance. Creating the pattern of abundance. Yeah, because I was like in a whole different file. Creating the pattern of abundance, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we get rid of the pattern, right? This is a pattern of thinking, and we let that go, and then we start to create a new pattern. Now, you've heard it said it takes 21 days to create a habit in the mind. That's actually not true. It takes 21 days to get yourself in a position to have created a habit, but it does not take 21 days to create a habit, believe me.
Well, why do I always feel that it takes 10,000 years to break it?
Yeah, right, exactly. Because if it took 21 days, right, diets would last longer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we do these New Year's resolutions, and 21 days, within 21 days, most people are like, screw it, right? Because they haven't come up with a reason that they really want to do this for themselves, right? Because there's this fundamental belief that I'm not enough, right? And when we have a fundamental belief that we are not enough, why would the universe give us anything? Because the universe will always support us in what we believe, right? It's always going, yes, whatever you want, my friend, whatever you want, right? So like it's your commitment to what you really really want, right? So maybe where you're living isn't where you really want to live. Maybe the job you're doing is something you want your dad to be proud of you, or you want your wife to be, I don't know, whatever your story is, and there's so many of them. Or I'm staying in this is one I get a lot. I'm staying in a marriage because I don't want to have to, get out there. I don't know if I could work again, those kind of things. And there's
Yeah.
a fundamental belief that you're not enough, right?
I know there's so many people, even career or wanting to go back to school, they won't do it because not enough money, not enough
Right.
time, not enough. And then all these dreams and visions just get suffocated. Like, I'm going to use that word again, right? Because
Right.
we just, like, stuff it down in so many different different ways. So like with your courses, it sounds like they're going to become aware, they're going to break through. And then, so once they start to break through and create a new thought process, a new pattern in their thinking, what is the third level?
Okay, so the third level is where we really take this and move forward with it. So I'm sure you have either read a book or listened to a podcast or, listen to me or whomever, and you think these ideas sound great, right? You think the ideas that we teach sound great. And then at some point you go back to the old way of thinking, right? It's normal. Think of the neural pathways in your brain, which is where the patterns are created. Like the ones you've been thinking over and over again are like a super highway. It's like the Autobahn in there, right? But
Yep.
then when you come up with a new thought, "Ooh, I like this is good. This is good for me." It's like you've got to take the machete through and create the new road. And there's going to be times when you go, "Oh, that super highway looks so good. Like it's faster, it's easier. I know what to expect."
Yeah.
Right? We go back to abusive relationships because we know what to expect. Like all these patterns. And when we move those across and we start working on them on a regular basis, which is what the third level is, it's going to be a mastermind that I get to do with Francine Ray. And we will be doing some really deep work, and it will be consistent. We're going to be going over a period of time and this will be where you start to recognize that even after a little while and it starts to get uncomfortable, we're going to be there to support you. We'll have a private Facebook room. We're going to have private Zooms where you'll be with a team or your group that's going through at the same time as you. We're going to have private coaching as well. It's going to be very, very, very involved, and it's going to be magical. Like I'm so excited because at the end of that process, these will be people that know how to attract money, time, everything they want, like everything they want. And here's the thing, you don't want the money, by the way. You think you want the money. That's not what you want. You want the experience and what the experience will make you feel. We're
Heck
all
yeah. Because
chasing a feeling. That's right. We're all
yeah,
chasing a feeling. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like it's actually experience the experiences, right? That life has to offer us, and then just
Yeah.
imagine how your attitude is going to shift when you come from this new thought process, right? Like your experience of life, like that's what Tori's talking about here. That like so many times, Tori, you're right. Like people that like have like the cars, the money, the this, the that, like live like in our society we would seem as rich, right?
Right.
How many times have you heard people that have won the lottery? They're miserable, right? Like miserable. They're sad.
Oh,
They're upset.
yeah.
They lose their money. Like there's whole studies and statistics of how
Oh,
quickly people
yeah.
like
Because
lose their money.
they don't know how to have money.
Right.
Why they let it go. They don't know how to have money, or people start making money. They
Hmm.
start making money after all these years of struggling, and now they're making money and they can't hold on to their money. Why? Because they don't think they deserve it. So they get rid of it. Right? So there's so much pathology
And,
behind
and
this.
like the so many times in our culture too, it's like money power, money power. Like if I have money, then I have power. If I have money, then I have sex appeal. If I have money, like all of this, and we're focusing on currency and money. But what we're saying is that it's innately in your soul, like in the cells of your body, like the energy that you exude like out into every human being that you interact with on a daily basis. And you will blow your socks off, people. I'm telling you that once you start to embody these tools that Tori teaches and is talking about, it's one of those things that once you're awake to that, you can't really go back to sleep with it
Yeah.
because like they're innately, it's like when you go to the gym, right? You work that muscle out and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and before you know it, you're like, and everything becomes effortless. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with like taking these courses and really stepping into the journey, right, of abundance. And it's a 3-part course, and I highly encourage you to do it. Like highly encourage you, because I have people on the show that are committed to making a difference in the world,
Mhm.
right, and illuminating humanity. And the whole purpose I have the show is to bring people on here so that like you get exposed to them, and you see all these amazing different domains and people that are doing things. And my whole purpose is that you support them in what they're up to. And everybody that comes on here like always has some amazing special or something that they're gonna really want you to win in your life. Because see, Tori does this. I'm just gonna speak in my experience. Tori of you is like, she does this because she can, she's good at it, and she cares about you, and she wants to be able to provide it like affordable for you so that you can have these results in your life. And it's super cool when you do it with your friends and family, because then you all start to have these tools, and watch what happens in your home, your relationships, your career. Like, bring your coworkers. I mean, it's the coolest thing, and anyone can do it, right, Tori?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Is
Yeah.
there like is there like an age limit or anything like that?
No, and it's really funny because younger people, I'm talking like 10, 11, 12, they like get it so fast. It's really fun. It's really fun. No, there's no age limit to this. Obviously, an adult, wherever you are in your life, you can have a change if you want to.
But for your course specifically, they have to be 18 and older, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So 18 and older. And then we have like this amazing deal, right,
Yes.
for them tonight. Do we
Yeah.
like want to show them what that
I
is?
do. I'm gonna divert 1 second. I just
I
want to
love diversion. I do it all the time.
I'm gonna show you something that this is a home, okay, that like it's all clean. This person happens to be very clean. They like to clean up. But what are two things that you notice that might be bad feng shui?
The cabinet that is diagonal.
The cabinet, this one
With
right here.
the faucet,
Yeah,
yeah, like,
that one is pretty awful. Yeah.
doesn't work for me at all. The curtain is uneven to
Okay.
me. No, that's what mat. I mean, the mat in front of the thing, and let's see what else would drive me bonkers of this. There's too many like colors.
Well, that isn't the bad feng shui part. It's
Oh,
this. You see the evil
okay.
face?
Oh my gosh, I totally see the face now.
Right? It's like, damn.
I see like evil robot face now that you
Right,
point it out.
right. Exactly.
Great.
So
It's like now that I see it, that's all I'm
yeah,
staring at.
that's it, right? But this is a house where, they don't put anything on the floor and they keep everything really neat, but like they were jacked up about this stuff.
What's
So,
up with that faucet? I'm in total judgment of it.
right. And and you should be actually because it does not
It
work.
makes me uncomfortable. Like,
Right. It makes you uncomfortable. Thank you, Chris.
it's like it's making me very uneasy.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing though we're supposed to be talking about. So
Yeah.
yes. So here is these are the specials. Now the
Is
part
there a way to make that bigger? Because we see all your folders and stuff on your, there we go.
I don't, yeah, I'm trying.
That works.
Yeah, because I wanted to pull in the other one so you could see it.
That works.
So yeah, so the part one is this Friday and the part two is Saturday. Friday is Eastern time, 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. And then Saturday is 11:30. These are Eastern times until 6 p.m. There will be a break for lunch. And I will be wanting a floor plan from you to do, to do the thing for Saturday, because I get a lot ready for you guys. So normally the part one is $295. So New Year's special, New Year. I hate this expression. Do you want to hear the expression I hate? New
Okay.
Year, new you. Like
it's not really a new you.
It's still me. Like I'm still me, and I get to like up level. Right? I get to up level. So I like the you that you are, and you get to up level. So new year, same you, up leveled. Okay. So part one is $99. And then the part two is normally $495. And we're doing the promotion for that for $247.50. But here's the thing. What I really want you to do is take both, right? Yeah. So if the part one and part two normally are $690. Right. So tonight, if you get the special, it's $295, which if you do math, right, buying these separately.
I don't.
Yes, I don't. I'm allergic to math. I tell that to Francine all the time. So it makes me nervous. So that's why I put a little bomb over there. Like, pooh, that's the amazing thing. That's the special for tonight. We'll run it till like, midnight tomorrow. So yeah, so that's that. That's that.
Yeah, so if you're watching, I mean, huge savings tonight. Like I said, it's phenomenal. It's a great way to start the new year out. If you have ever been challenged with anything in your home, you want to create a clean space in relationships, I mean, you name it, this is the place to be, and it's super affordable. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you're one of those people going, I would really like to do this, but I don't think I can afford it, guess what? Then you should be there, because that's what we're talking about. That how awesome would it be that you could just go, yeah, I'm going to go to that. And you're not going to have any thought that you can't afford that. Or if you didn't have that money in your bank account, that you would see a possibility of being able to create that to go. That's the mindset that we're talking about, because if that's you, that every time you see something you want and you can't write that check, right, for $295 or go online and pay it, this is exactly where you should be, because it's going to give you the tools to go, oh, I want to go there. I don't have that in my bank account. Oh, but it's on January 15th. Great. I have this much time to create that. And that's easy. I can go do that. That's the shift that we're talking about, in shifting your pattern and all of that stuff. So if that's landing with you, what I'm saying, why not be there? Just saying. And what we'll do, Tori, is we could probably remove that now. And what we'll do is we'll put it when we get off of here. Tori, would you put that in the comments? Like we'll put the link for you all to enroll in that, and then we'll also put that picture in there so that you can see, and then share it with your friends and family if you want to invite them to come as well. And like she said, we will keep that on till tomorrow, January 12th at midnight. So share it with as many people as you want to do the course with, because it's like we're allowing you to share that price with your friends and family tonight. Absolutely. Just for supporting us in watching this interview tonight.
And just so you know, like, we'll put the link, and then I'm going to give you codes that you use to enter. It's an Eventbrite page, and you have to enter the codes when it tells you to. So if you have any questions, let one of us know.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I promise you, your life will forever catapult when you are in the space of Tori Michaels and everything that she has to offer for you. My mom is on here, right? Hi, Mom. She's saying, I've seen Tori in action. She is amazing. And Ari is sitting here going, I'm in. I enrolled my mom to get this for me. So she enrolled her mother to buy it for her.
Oh, that's so cool. That makes me happy. Yay.
So that's amazing. Maybe your mom will do it with you. Maybe not. I don't know, but that could be fun. But I promise you, you're going to be so grateful, and the results that you're going to have in your life. And it's not just, for those of you that are like, oh, I'm pretty clean, right? That might be your conversation. It's not about that. It's about learning different tools that creates your space in an even more abundant and prosperity and all that. I mean, we're talking from like adding a house plant and what that could do, right? For your everyday, and it sounds silly, but it's real, So if you've been wanting something like a fresh air, like to come into your space, like reach out to Tori. And I'm going to say this, that if there's any questions, right? If you're re-watching this and you are just joining on now, watch it. It's about 45 minutes. You can rewind, fast forward, all of that if you've seen some of it. But please, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and tag Tori or myself, and we'll do our very best to answer and support. And why don't you tell them, Tori, where they can find you on Facebook and Instagram so that they can follow what you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Tori Michaels. Everything is Tori Michaels. So you can find me on Facebook as that. Tori Michaels, the Whole Life Transformation System is the company. On Instagram, I'm just Tori Michaels and the Whole Life Transformation System. There's two. So you can do that. And I'm also on Clubhouse. If anybody's on Clubhouse yet, Chris and I are both on, or Chris is getting on Clubhouse.
I'm learning about it. Yes.
Yeah. You got on?
Yeah, I'm on, but I don't know what that means yet. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's everybody's new because it just happened, but that's also something. And I just want to say one more thing. Like, yes, we're going to be spending time with Feng Shui on the Saturday, and we get to eradicate this conversation that's been running you on Friday, and we'll be doing some more of that on Saturday as well. It's a very busy time, and it's a lot of information, but it's also experiential. So it's a fun. I think it's a fun class. Don't you think it's a fun class?
It's a blast.
Yeah.
And then like on top of it, you get to join this little social media group.
Yes,
and there's like conversation, and Tori drinks like tea and coffee and stuff with you on Sundays, and it's like fun, right? And you get to do fun like connection stuff like that if that's your thing, right? You can totally hop on there and do that, and it's not mandatory. So it's what works.
No, it's just fun, and it's called Coffee Talk with Tori. It's on Saturdays, and I'm a coach. This is what I do for a living, and I'm there giving my time. So you guys, any questions that are coming up around this stuff, because it goes deep, It goes so deep. And when we pull this stuff up, it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was running me for this long.
Yep.
Right. So it does go deep, and we get to dig it up and
Yes,
clean it up.
we do. And Jack Law, you are asking me, where is the sign up info? As soon as I get off of here, which is in the next 30 seconds, we are going to post it right
Yes.
here in this
Yes.
comment, in this video right under there. So like come back to this exact post and maybe like, I don't know, 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, maybe 60 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Maybe 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and then you can click on it and share it with anyone else and enroll because it's an amazing special. And oh my gosh, like, do you know Jackie Law? Do you know her? Oh my
Jackie,
gosh, she's like our fam. Like you're gonna love her, and Jackie's gonna love you. And I'm so excited about this. So that just gives me all excitement on a whole other level. So that's exciting. So we do have to wrap this up. It is 7:47. And I want to thank you, Tori, for being a guest on here tonight, and thank you for what you do. You know, in really supporting people to get their greatness and say, yeah, you can. Yes, you can have whatever you want that you say that you want in your life. You know, so and thank you everybody for tuning in live, and thank you for everybody that rewatches the video. And again, you know, the best way that you can support me is to share this on your personal pages, share it with your friends and family, and joining me on Mondays and see all the amazing people that are committed to making a difference in the world as I illuminate humanity every Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook Live, on a live with Chris Austin. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you next week. And everybody have a great night. And thanks so much, Tori.
Oh, thank you, Chris. You're awesome. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Good night, everyone.